What is up, guys? It is the Sound Alchemist, and today I'm back to bring you guys some epic Warhammer 40k content. So if you weren't paying attention, on Sunday, yeah, it was Sunday, I went mano a mano against Gershwin and her buddy. And it was a 1v1v1 battle of 1500 points, and I was right. So my buddy ended up playing the Necrons. So I guessed that right. And however, Gersh was playing his Orks. I thought he was going to bring Skitarii since the last match we'd played was Orks against Tau, but he kept it with the Orks. So I ended up bringing Khorne, and I've listened to you guys because on Saturday, I believe, I asked you to create a Chaos Army for me, and I was going to play it. So I scoured the comment section, and I got Nicholas Hengster. I believe that's how you pronounce your name. I ended up using his list, or at least a very similar version to what he had. So this is what he said. He said that the army would depend mostly on how many points I have, however he recommends going with the Chaos Hellrite and a Daemon Prince of Khorne for the HQs, which was exactly what I did. For the troops, he said do 2 20-man units of Bloodletters and 2 10-man Chaos Marine units. From here, he also recommended 2 Hellbrutes and 10 Raptors. For the heavy support, he said go with the Hellforged Leviathan Dreadnought or 3 Obliterators. And finally, he said do 2 Helldrakes. With this type of list, he was thinking of using the fast units to go right into melee really quickly, while the Obliterators and the Hellbrutes shot at the enemy from behind. And then that the Helldrakes would be used as like a vehicle harasser or to attack troops that were out in the open. And his list seemed pretty solid. Like, he seemed what he was talking about. So, I'm like, Nicholas, I will do just that. So the army that I ended up using was, for my Warlord, the Demon Prince with Wings aligned with Khorne. I gave him the Warlord trait Unholy Fortitude to just make sure that he stays alive. And then I also gave him the Artifact of Chaos, the Talisman of Burning Blood. I feel like this is a must because I believe this is the one that lets you move in the assault phase, or move, advance, and charge, and I think you could reroll. I think that's what it is. I could be wrong. And then for the weapons, I gave him 2 Malefic Talons and a Warp Bolter. And then with the other HQ, stayed true to Nicholas's advice, and I went with a Chaos Hellrite on my Dark Abiant. I gave him the Mark of Khorne, keep everything corny in this list. So what the things that he has is the Frag and Crack Grenade, a Flamer, an Infernal Axe, Mecha Tendrils, a Soul Burner Pistol, and the Void Cutter. Moving on to the troops, I had to go all out with 20 Khorne Berserkers. I decided to not go with just the regular Chaos Marines. I wanted to try the Berserkers, and whew, those were really fun to use. I'll talk about that later. But continuing on with the list, I added 2 20-man Bloodletters, and then for the heavy support, 2 Mauler Fiends, Mark of Khorne, Lasher Tendrils, Mauler Fiend Fists, and then finishing it off with 2 Helldrakes, Mark of Khorne, Hades Autocannon, and the Helldrake Claws. So with this list, I ended up doing 1,497 points, so just 3 points shy of 1,500, but wow, it did work. Of course, the match ended up being kill points, and the way that we ended up setting up was I was kind of in the middle, while Gershwin had one corner and then the Necrons had the other corner. I ended up rolling really bad, so I was supposed to go last, and the Necrons were going to go first, and then Gershwin would be in the middle. However, I ended up taking the initiative. I stole initiative after I had to use a command point to re-roll that, so that really helped. So I went first, and knowing this, I had a choice. I could either send my entire army towards the Orks and get a few... well, not a few, but my plan was to go up against the Orks and just start taking things down in close combat. I needed to charge him before he charged me, and the way the map was playing, the way the map was laid out, I was kind of out in the open. The Necrons had a lot of buildings on their deployment zone, and the Orks were kind of out in the open too. So I'm like, the Orks are the better target. And then the Necrons were also, I don't know, I just feel like Necrons are really difficult. Every time our buddy plays, I feel like they're OP. And then today, he ended up bringing the, I believe it's called Canoptic Construct. It's the new Necron Forge World model that has 28 wounds. So it's basically like a Titan, kind of, a small Titan. And yeah, it did work. So turn one, what I ended up doing was I set my whole army towards the Orcs. I was ignoring the Necrons for now. So I went up there, I killed 2 units of his. Or no, I just killed 1 unit, which gave me first blood, plus the unit itself. And then I did pretty good. I was feeling content with my first turn. And then came the Necrons, and they started doing work. All in all, the game started tipping towards the Necrons almost instantaneously. He had some immortals, and he used 2 abilities. I'm not exactly sure what, but basically he was hitting on 2s, and 5s and 6s gave him more hits. I know they were like Tesla, which I think 6s gives him more, but then he had another ability which made the 5s give him... either way, he was racking a whole bunch of hits, and then he ended up charging my Demon Prince with his construct. And that was a really cool battle. However, he freaking did 18 wounds to me, so there was nothing I could do to survive that many wounds. However, what I was really surprised about was how well the Khorne Berserkers were. So I went into combat with my Berserkers, hoping they could do something, and wow, they were really good. So Berserkers already come with an ability that if they charged, they gain an extra attack. And I gave them all chain swords, which meant they had another attack. So on the charge, each Berserker had 3 attacks. And I had, I think at this point, 9 charging in. Or no, they don't get an extra attack, they get to attack again. So it was 1 attack, or I think they have 2 attacks. I'm confused, but they had a lot of attacks. I'm confusing myself here with how many attacks the Berserkers had. They had a lot of attacks, and overall I ended up rolling like 60 dice. And I was slowly whittling down his construct, and unfortunately I ended up losing my Berserkers to the construct, but I think I brought him down to like 8 wounds, which in my opinion was really well. They definitely had to be the MVP of the game. I just liked the amount of attacks that were just befalling the Berserkers. They're kind of expensive, because for a full squad of 20 I ended up paying like 320 points. And the ability is Blood for the Blood God, and that's when the model can fight twice in the fight phase. So just a regular Berserker has 2 attacks, plus the chainsword. So yeah, 3 attacks, hitting twice, which is why you're just rolling tons of dice. And yeah, it was just fun. Really awesome. I highly recommend you guys bring Berserkers if you're playing a Khorne army or a World Eater army, because they just do work. With 20 of them, you're almost guaranteed to have at least some go into combat, and you're doing 3 attacks per model, so it's a lot. And you get to fight twice. It's crazy. My Chaos Hellright didn't really do much. I felt like he was just doing like a little bit of support here and there. But I got stuck in with the Mauler Fiends into like a group of like 30 boys, so that was just a slow combat. Helldrakes did pretty good at first, just kind of whittling down the Orks before I charged them. And I think what I ended up doing wrong, what cost me the game, was that we ended up just fighting, just me and the Orks. We completely ignored the Necrons for most of the game, and I think by the end of the game, like, the construct was dead, and since it died, it exploded, and it took out some of his immortals. So we only really just killed the Necron construct, and it killed more. So yeah, 3-way 40k battles are very weird. It's basically like whoever, the first two armies that go up against each other, they're gonna like whittle themselves down so much that the third army can just take advantage of all that. So it's really fun, but competitive wise, I don't think it's something that makes too much sense. And yeah, so I just want to let you guys know how that army did. Huge thank you, Nicholas, for the army list you sent us, and thank you for all the other guys who commented down below. Um, Next time, I'm definitely gonna try a Zeech army because that's what you guys also recommended. Go Zeech, spam Smite, and use a lot of demons. So I'll probably go that route with my next battle. And yeah, that's all I've got for today. Happy New Year if this came out after the New Year. If not, Happy New Year's Eve, depending on where this video comes out. But yeah, that's all I've got to say. Let me know your crazy Warhammer 40k battles down below. And that's all I've got. This is the Sound Alchemist, part of One Mind Syndicate, and I'll see you guys next time.